Alright, this is 25. I just plugged in those domains right here. Plugged them in, got this for y. For 26, you're supposed to write all 5 answers as ordered pairs. Like this. And then for 27, you're supposed to graph all 5 of those. And x squared on the graph should look like a parabola. If you do it right. But you do not connect the dots. Alright, now we are on 28, 29. 29, so do you guys remember this? Write a rule for the function. There's negative 2, 1. We did this last week. 0, 0, 4, negative 2. Just to name a few. Okay. To figure out what the function is, we're supposed to figure out the pattern. How do we get from negative 2 to 1 or 4 to negative 2? What do we do to 4 to turn it into a negative 2? Times negative 2? What's 4 times negative 2? 4 times negative 2 would be negative 8. Right. If I divide by 2, that gets me to 2. If you divide by negative 2, that switches it to negative. Is negative 2 divided by negative 2 1? Is 0 divided by negative 2 0? Yeah. So we're writing a function where we have to divide the x value by negative 2. The book probably wrote this instead. You don't have to, but just saying times negative 1/2. Oh no. Next time it's going with me. Up to the office.
Jeez. Ciao.
All right. So, do you guys remember 30 is pretty... I'm going to make 30 a bonus because it's the same as the bonus from last week on that assignment. It's harder. There's 2 things you have to do. Anyways, do you guys... 30's bonus. Do you guys remember how we did 28 last week? It's like 29, but it's a graph. You have to find some points that are on the graph. So, for example, what's a point on the graph?
Negative 2.
Negative 2, 1. What's another point on the graph?
Negative 1, 2.
Negative 1, 2. Looks like 0, 3. 1, 4. Anyways, you got to find the pattern there. Usually it's less confusing if you look at the positive numbers. Talking about 28.
Oh, I guessed on
You were-
guessed on that point. I was like,
You were just helping me find points, and you were like, what are we on?
I didn't know we were on 28. I thought we were on 30.
It's like this shape. We only did like a couple of them, yeah. Doesn't look quite right now. Might just be one. Looks like maybe 1 point is wrong. Okay. 37. Draw a mapping of this. Okay. I feel like we did a mapping like 1 week ago today, I think.
Okay, wait, so now we're on 37.
Yes.
Okay.
36, 37. Okay. 37 says D equals negative 4. All right. Does anybody remember what a mapping was?
No.
Add Do you remember? I think we did this, I think we maybe did one of these on Friday.
Oh, yeah, that.
So the domain goes over here. And then the range goes over here, and then we draw arrows to the ones that go together. If I plug in -4, what's -4 going to become?
2 or 4.
Positive 4 minus 2 is 2. So -4 goes to 2. If I plug in -2, absolute value of that is 2 minus 2 is 0.
This is not the same thing, so why do they do it like this?
Hmm?
Isn't this the same thing as just a normal table?
It's kind of like a table, yeah. It's a little bit different because something is about to. Okay, if I plug in 0, 0 minus 2 is -2. 0 goes to -2. Okay, if I plug in 2, 2 minus 2 is 0. You don't draw a 0 again, what do we do?
To the
Just draw a line up to that deer, get a little bit closer. If I plug in 4, 4 minus 2 is 2. So, which is already up there.
It's not the function.
I was gonna say, a lot of times they ask, are these functions? Do they ask?
Is it? No.
Okay, it is a function. Each x value is only being
Oh,
used
yeah,
once.
yeah.
But they didn't ask, actually. All right. They say in the problem, write the draw mapping of the function 37.
Oh, what the heck? Don't worry.
Okay, 38 says make a table. 39 says graph. Okay, they didn't ask, however, we do need to know this. What is on 39, what's that +1 going to do to it? First of all, what does the absolute value function graph look like? What shape does this take?
Is it like that?
V, yes. I think this was Thursday, right? Remember the V's we graphed? What, you guys do need to know this, it's important. What does the +1 do to the graph?
Make it go up 1.
Makes it go up 1. Remember that? If you didn't know, there's a way you could kind of find out. How could we find out? Well, you could just graph it. You need to go to graph paper. You guys got your graph paper out? How did we graph this? Oh boy. How did we graph this? Let's go purple. Let's change it up. On Thursday, what did we do? We did this. If you don't know what a graph looks like, you can always figure out by plugging stuff in and seeing what comes out. Make a table. If I plug in -2, I get 2 plus 1. -1 becomes 1 plus 1. 0 plus 1. 1 plus 1. 2 plus 1. -2, 3. -1, 2. 0, 1. 1, 2, 2, 3. Should we connect the dots?
Yes.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
The domain is unlimited. We just chose a few random ones, but is that all I asked for? Yeah, just the graph.
Mr. Jordan, how was your weekend?
Fine.
Good.
Did you do this already?
Wait, so we're like done?
With this one?
Yeah, like it's
Oh yeah. We're almost done, yeah. You guys will have time to do the evens.
Wait, where's the thing that you had?
Thank you.
The gym,
Oh.
that's too big for the chapel.
Yeah, I was starting to get crowded last year.
The 8 chapel?
We're going to the gym.
It's Ramsden.
Or that, I mean, it was
Oh.
Oh, wait, wait, were we supposed to dress up or not? No. It didn't.
Only if you're on choir,
Okay.
because we're singing.
Oh, yeah, aren't you singing that one song?
Dear Theodosia.
Oh my gosh.
I love that song.
Oh.
We revived it. Whoa. We revived it.
Corbin's sister's singing the national anthem thing, and she's like, she doesn't eat.
Lila is a very good singer for being how little she, like for how young she
She
is.
sings for one of our Orlo games.
She's a 5th grader and she sings better than some of the high schoolers.
Lauren has the lead.
Yeah, she has a solo for dear.
Okay, 40. Who does? Lauren?
Lauren could.
Yeah.
I think he knows who Lauren is, Isabel.
There's only one.
Lauren Miller. I don't think he has Miller.
I don't have any of those. Okay.
Yeah.
Lauren Miller.
What is on 40? What is the +2 gonna do to the graph?
Make it go left.
It's gonna move the graph left 2. So, yeah, you're actually not gonna see the V very well because they start left 2. So it's gonna look like a straight line instead of a V. On 40 and 41, we should not connect the dots because the domain is limited. Let's go to 41. Oops. On 41, what is this -1 going to do to the graph?
Move it right. You don't want to.
Yes, it's going to move it right 1. Okay. And they told us, on this one, they told us the domain, so our domain is limited to just those 5. So what you do is you do -2 minus 1 first, which is -3, and then you take the absolute value.
When you said
Positive.
minus 3.
So all of these have to be positive or at least 0.
Mr. Jordan, you're supposed to also subtract 3 after the opposite.
Oh, did I not copy it down? Oh, didn't see that up there. Oh, no. Never mind. Okay, so now it's -3, absolute value of -3 is 3, minus 3
Is 5.
is 0.
Sorry.
You got it right the first time. Oh, no. Okay. If I plug in -1 minus 1, that's -2. Absolute value of -2 is 2. Minus 3. 0 minus 1 is -1. Becomes +1. Minus 3. 1 minus 1 is 0. Minus 3. Yeah, we're finally not too hot in here. 2 minus 1 is 1. Minus 3. Yeah, anyway, so the vertex for this graph should move right 1 and
See,
down
if you did it
3.
the correct way where you had the 1 in the middle, it would be a V.
Well, it'll kind of be like, it gets down to that, but then it will barely start going up.
Mr. Jordan, did
What?
that say 7 through 8 or 7 through 18?
18. We went to 17 on Friday. All right, -2, 0, -1, -1, 0, -2. Okay, so you can see the V is starting to form, but we're not supposed to keep going on this.
Did you make the line?
We do not make a line because they gave us the domain and it's limited to those 5. So on 40 and 41, we're not supposed to draw a line. On 39 and 42, we are supposed to draw a line. On 42, what's the +3 going to do to the graph? Make it go left 3. So what value is left 3? Oops. What x value is left 3? -3. On the graph, what x value is left 3? -3. So if you use -3 for the middle of your graph, then you'll be able to see the b. So this could be like -4, -5, -2, -1. All right. The end. Any questions?
Can you scroll back up to 25? 30. Pause.
Wait, so did
I
you
said
have
30
that?
was bonus.
Is it on